came in all cocky, and then and then I lost my focus.
Gotcha.
And then, yeah.
Okay, so like the fatigue from
didn't wanna
racking
keep
is
going.
from like dropping it and getting it back up, you mean? Like the actual, yeah. All right. Yeah, these will help that a lot.
Yeah.
Cool. Oh yeah, I got some stuff we'll go through. I have like a series of 3 really good drills that I like just to ingrain the positions for the split. Get you to like feel your weight distribution, feel how you're balanced, and like really emphasize that arm drive to the lockout.
Perfect.
So we can roll through those. We can do a little bit of work with push press to get through like that rack position, the dip and the drive from there. And then we'll just see what the split jerk looks like.
Okay. Cool. Yeah.
Sick. Let's do it.
Let's do a warm up. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I didn't address anything. We'll get started, but yeah, I did kind of want to introduce you a bit, just here real briefly. So we're in a new location. Hopefully you're on, Dylan. But what's great is Jordan is right down the street.
Yeah.
Is Sundown CrossFit, is that the name of the gym? Just so people know. Okay, cool. But yeah, like we've connected before, and our friend Jordan Shallow as well. You work with him, and and you're kind of like somebody I thought of right away for Olympic lifts. So I was like, dude, I need some sharpening. And at this stage of the series, I'm like, okay, I have like a month here where I really need to kind of hone in on the technique of it all.
Yep.
And just been trying to do it raw and from memory up to this point, and just trying to get that strength back. So now, like, really want to kind of learn, where I might have a little bit of deficit, where I could kind of sharpen. So
awesome. Yeah.
So yeah, I'm in your hands today. So we're going to go through like a warm up and kind of go through that whole progression, see where I'm at with push press, work that to the point where we can get to hopefully the jerk press, and see what all that looks like.
Yeah, we'll go through some drills to work on technique, and then as we start to add some weight, we'll kind of assess what's breaking down. We'll really hone in on some cues for that to get you to clean that up and see where we get to with the split jerks.
Okay. All right. So take me through a warm up.
Cool. What kind of stuff do you usually do in your warm up, just to open up the overhead, open up the lower body a bit?
Yeah. Sometimes I'll do like face pulls. I'll do a lot of shoulder mobility, just light stuff, so I'm not fatigued, but like, get some rotation. I'll get some, I'll kind of pack the shoulder. Sometimes I'll do like farmer walk, and just to kind of get some load. Okay. But yeah.
Well, I'll run you through something that I like to do, and if there's anything else you feel like you need to do at the end, then we'll roll with that. Sound good?
Yep.
Cool. So for that rack position, a lot of that is like active protraction and then elevation through the shoulder. So we'll just start with the scapula push-up, like it down the push-up position here. So the other thing here is we want to stack that rib cage. So we're kind of crunching down those abs here. We're gonna let the chest sink, pull the shoulder blades together, and then active protraction at the top. Try and get a little bit of thoracic flexion while keeping that core, push into the ground. Go through about 10 reps of that. Just really opening up that range of motion and really feeling that active protraction through the top. Like, really drive up there. Good. Cool. Put a few of these in too, so I don't look like shit when I jerk.
Yeah, I was doing like scapular circles, and this is great. I haven't even thought of doing scapular push-ups.
Yeah, I think there's a good transfer for the jerk on these, just because of how you have to stabilize the core and create that protraction. So it helps to open up for that front rack position a bit. Next, like similar emphasis here. We'll get on the bench for a pullover. The same thing, we're gonna kind of tuck that pelvis and get that posterior tilt and push up into that plate, like protraction here. Just gonna slowly come overhead, kind of let it pull you there, lengthen, and come on out of it. Go through 5 to 10 there, just to open up that range of motion. Cool.
Pull over with a plate. I haven't done that before. Cool.
No, really? Yeah.
I mean, no. Yeah.
If we had a pulley, we'd be using that, but this is it. Good. Yeah. Just trying to flare here. Try and crunch those abs down, and straighten out these elbows here the best you can. There you go. You feel that down through the lats as you lengthen. Yeah. That's it. Good, and I'll even use this kind of like you're saying, like an isometric. It's just, hold there.
Yeah.
Let those lats lengthen a bit.
Stretch.
Good. Really reach those arms, push those elbows straight. Yeah. Solid. I'll go through one more for the upper, and then we'll hit some lower body too. Okay. Up here, I'll just do like an eccentric pull-up. It's like a pull-up negative, like 5 seconds. I'll do just like 3 reps. Depending on how your shoulder rotation is, if you have good rotation, you can do like chin up, get a lot of external rotation. If not, I'd start here. So like maybe we'll do 2 sets. We'll go through, just hop up, kind of pull up, and then control, really slow down, and tucking that pelvis so you're not extending to that lumbar all the way down. Just go through 3, just like that.
Okay.
Yeah, that's good there. Yeah, good. And try and hold that tension here until the elbows are all the way straight. Good. There it is. Getting the workout before we even get on the bar.
Yeah, dude. Oh, yeah.
Starting to feel the shoulders a bit.
Full extension.
We'll go through one more. I like this one as isometric hold for the lower body. And this is more so to get that, that split position. Open up range of motion there.
Okay.
So this one will go kettlebell with that anterior low, a goblet load, just to help us maintain that core position nice and stacked here. We're gonna elevate the front foot and in the back. We wanna make sure that hip is, or that knee's behind the hip. So we're actually in hip extension here. We're gonna keep that glute tight. And then from here, we're just gonna drop down through that back knee and try and get that knee as close to the ground as we can. We're keeping that glute active, keeping that core turned on. We're just gonna hold there about 30 seconds each side.
Okay.
Really open up the hips, kind of maintain that stacked pelvis position. Switch to the other side as well. Cool. Yeah, now we'll start to see what the mechanics look like in that split. So here, see your little arch there? I want you to tuck. Good. Yeah. See that shoulders right over the hip? Feel that back leg shaking? That's why I like this though. It helps you stabilize that midline so you can be more stable in that hip extension. This is a subjective 30 seconds.
Yeah. I was like, wait a minute, is anybody counting? We'll just keep going.
Yeah. Yeah, good. Yeah, that looks really solid. Looks like it's a little easier on this side.
This is the one that I put back.
Okay, cool. Cool, you finish that up. I'll pull out these blocks and we can get on the bar. If anything feels a bit off, we can take a little extra time to warm it up though.
I should have ate something today. That's probably why I'm so shaky.
Yeah. On caffeine all morning. Get after it in the afternoon.
Well, yeah, you know me without knowing me. Hey, hope you're enjoying the series. Hope you're enjoying this break of the gym in Jordan's domain. Make sure you go check out our sponsors, Promethean and the bioregulators. These are fantastic products to help with a lot of your joint and tissue needs. Also to the Legion and their creatine gummy specifically. This has been such an easy way for me to consume creatine every day. Highly suggest it. Go check them out. Huh? Already.
I know. The warm-up's the hardest part, like spikes your heart rate. Like, oh, let's chill out a minute.
It's the anticipation, dude. You know, it's like white coat syndrome. Yeah.
That's it.
Like, what's Jordan gonna do with me?
Just gonna make me do isometrics and pull-ups. I didn't expect that shit.
What the fuck? Mirror push press. That's it.
Yeah. Cool. I'll go grab my shoes real quick. I'll give you a second to chill out. Cool. All right, we can kind of get on the bar. Maybe just see what your front rack position looks like from there, and then kind of maybe just do like an empty barbell warm up, and then yeah, go from there. So like for the front rack position, what I like to think of here is you want those hands outside of the shoulders, and it's gonna be different from like a front rack from a front squat, because front squat we're super relaxed here. This one we're gonna get that bar pretty deep, like in that crease of the thumb here. And then we're on top of the collarbone, but we also want it on the shoulders too. So that's what I was talking about earlier, is that protraction into the bar. So we're gonna wrap those shoulder blades, kind of like we're reaching forward. We're gonna wrap those shoulder blades across the rib cage here and up into the bar. So we have a broad contact from one shoulder over the whole collarbone to the other shoulder. And we want a lot of rotation through the shoulders here. So basically, typically what I'll do is like, I'll do what we just did, get on the bar. If it still feels like shit, then I'll do a little bit more shoulder warm up to get into a better position here. And then that helps you stay in a better core position because like people will compensate if they can't get into that shoulder rotation. And what happens is they'll just come here.
Right. So you don't want a rib flare. You still want to stay packed.
Exactly. Yeah. So we want ribs down here. We want a little bit thoracic. So we don't want to be all the way over. We want this down, but this up. So that's like the hard part of it.
Actually, yeah. Just actively moving my shoulders.
Yeah, exactly. So kind of find that front rack position here. Get into that. And from here, I'll actively squeeze my glutes, my quads to bring my pelvis under me and lock down the rib cage. And that's the position I'm trying to get into. So from here, I'll just kind of like, I'll just move a bit and go through a few presses, kind of open up that overhead range of motion here. And then from there, I'll just kind of walk myself into my split position. And I'll just kind of make sure I can maintain core tension. Just be variable in that position. So kind of some overhead lunges like that. So if you want to get in there and just kind of see what the rack
work through it, yeah.
Exactly. You just kind of start to open up those positions a bit. And then based off whatever else you're feeling, we can open up a bit more. Good. So here, I try a little more protraction. I go a little wider with those hands. Yeah, there we go. We want to get these elbows a bit more in front of the bar if you can. And that, there. So see how it rests on your shoulders a bit more there? That's what we want. Now from here, squeeze the butt, squeeze your legs, like straighten out the knees. There you go. Now tuck the ribs. Good. So that's the core position that we want here. And now as we go through, we'll talk about the dip and drive in a minute, but that's the position we're going to start from right here. So if you just want to kind of feel it out, press overhead, see what range of motion is like. Oh, that's good, man. Yeah, range of motion like that and belts like that, we got 315.
Yeah. Good. I want to hear that, please.
I'm just here to pump
confidence, dude.
Yeah, that's it. Here, what I do is I bring that front foot forward a little bit. Yeah, a little bit more. There, that's good. Now, I want to bend this back knee. Yeah, so that's about where we want to be catching it, right? Yeah. So with that, it should be about 50-50 weight distribution. So in that back foot, think about pushing the ground away. In the front foot, think about pushing the ground away as well. And really what we want to prevent is that knee traveling forward. That knee comes forward, everything comes forward. So we're pushing ourselves back to get more weight into the back foot. It's kind of what we're thinking about there. We're keeping upward pressure into the bar. So, yeah, that's great. You go through a few reps, I'll kind of make some notes, and then we'll kind of check things off the list. Cool. Cool. Yeah. It's really not bad. There's a few things that if we clean it up, it'll make a big difference.
Sweet.
So first is your dip and drive. You're really, really quick in and out of that, and it's a really shallow dip and drive. So with that, what I do is I would, and your stance is a little bit off, I would open up that stance and turn the toes out just a little bit. But from here, I want it to be, the tempo of the dip and drive is always going to be control on the way down. At the bottom, it's going to be an abrupt stop, and then we're going to change direction and stand up really quickly at the bottom. All right? So the tempo of it kind of looks like this. From here, it's control, and then speed up. So it's control, speed. All right?
Okay, so it's a little slower, more fluid on the way down, and then we explode.
Yeah, you're kind of rushing through the whole thing. So like think of the dip as the loading phase. We're going to be very controlled and very exactly, and very balanced in that phase. So that's control. Once we hit the bottom, it's going to be fast out. So that's the first thing. The second thing is in that split, you're still very
forward.
Yeah. So it looks like you're more so thinking about just extending this leg behind you, as opposed to like the idea really is we're going to use our legs to move the bar up. As the bar moves up, we want to use our hands is not even catch, it's just pushing under, right? So we want to drive our body down. But what you're doing is you're not giving yourself necessarily a way to go straight down, right? If you're kind of coming here, is that you're coming off balance as you come down. So really what we want it to be is, that's why we started with the lunge, as we drive here, we're driving that back knee down. So see how there, nothing's changing front to back, we're staying really balanced. So that's all it is that we're controlling through the dip, explosive, and then driving straight down into that back knee. So those are the two things we'll work with.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Cool. We can start with the push press to work on that dip and drive and then progress to the split itself. Okay. That sound good?
Yeah.
Cool. Do you want to load up or you want to start just reps with the empty barbell?
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty, let's go ahead and just start stacking it.
All right. Where do you go? We got kilos, so.
Yeah, okay, kilos, yeah, I'm no, but.
That's all right. Ignorance PRs.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like,
this is like
135 would be a good.
All right, cool. Yeah, we'll start here.
Good precursor here.
Yeah. As we come here, kind of working on those same things, like getting into a stacked rack position. Yeah. And then really what we'll focus on is control through that dip, speed through that drive, and this is one we'll just focus on aggressive punch into the bar. Okay. All right. So here. Cool. Good. Protract into that. Good. Now control down, speed up, aggressive lockout here. Cool. Really squeeze those quads. All right, good. Cool. So one more thing that's really going to help you is it looks like you're not actually getting the full hip and knee extension. It's like, even though these are all overhead movements, the legs are what are going to move the bar. Yeah. So getting as much out of them as possible, that's going to help you just maximize that much more. So really think about, as we come to that bottom of the dip, the way that we're going to be aggressive at it is I want you to think about squeezing your butt and squeezing your legs to lock out the hip and knee together, and then pushing through the whole foot as you do that. So it's just hips and knees together as you push through that whole foot. Just getting really tall in that extension. Okay. Cool. Good. There we go. Good. How's that feel?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, I get that. Like, extension really gets you into that lockout.
Exactly.
Yeah, just more effectively.
Yeah, the bar just flies up if you can really use those legs, and then the arms are there just to find it.
Yes, the last bit of.
Yeah.
Yeah, it helps move to the speed of it a lot.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
That's it. Cool. Cool. You want to go up on the push press a bit?
Sure.
Maybe we'll do is like 1 or 2 more sets here, and then we can switch gears to a little bit of technique for the split jerk, and then we'll put that together.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Cool.
I'm still more in the strength, less on this Olympic lifting world, so.
Right.
Yeah.
No, it's a good place to be because you're obviously a fucking strong dude. So as the technique refines, your numbers will just shoot up.
Yeah, I can't muscle up that goal though. That's where I'm.
Yeah, that's
like, wall. Yeah.
That's the point where it's like, all right, you're strong, but you need some technique too to get through this. Good. There we go. Good. Yeah. All right. Yeah, the extension looks a lot better on that. And I want to go through, let's just go empty bar for a second. Yeah. Just to get you to feel some of the positions. So the first one is kind of like what we just did in the beginning. We're going to take this, and then from that rack position, I want you to find a nice stable position here. We're just going to walk your back foot back, step your front foot forward, and then from here, I want you to get a little bit of bend in that back knee so you can feel that position. Staying stacked through the torso, shoulders are over the hips, and we have a bend in that back knee, 50-50 weight distribution. And then from here, we're going to keep that core tight. We're just going to press to a lock. All right. So go through about 5 reps like that. Just feeling what it's like to maintain that balance and that core tension as you move through that press. All right.
Do it after I get up?
So, no, so I start right from there. So now, good. I want you to come a little more further forward. Yeah, with that front foot. Good. Yeah, and then bend that back knee. Now what I want you to prevent is I want you to prevent this knee from coming forward. All right, if you need to get lower, go through the back leg. Yeah. You go a little bit further back with that back foot. Yeah, right there. There it is. Good. So I want you to keep this down. Keep this down the whole time. Big toe down. All right. There it is. Good. Feel really grounded through those feet. Remember, push the ground away in both directions. Good. Even if it's just 3 presses from there, that's fine. Just focus on where that weight is in your foot, keeping that core tight. Good. Create a lot of tension by pushing away with those legs. Good. All right, how's that?
Yeah. Let's see how that could be addressed, like stability-wise.
Exactly. And these are those technique pieces that like, once you feel it, you're like, oh, this is where I need to be. This is the tension that I need. So like really a lot of what constitutes as good technique in Olympic lifting, it revolves around balance.
Yeah.
Right? So if you're half your foot's off the ground, then there's no way you're balanced, right? So you need to keep that thing glued to the ground, and that's really what's going to keep you in stable positions, is simply just being balanced.
I like that too, because pushing with that front foot and then away with both, it creates that stability. I can feel the difference.
Cool. All right, we'll move on from that. We'll go to another drill. This one's going to be a little bit more dynamic. We're going to be in that same position here, and now we're going to go through that dip and drive that we just went through from that same foot position, but we're going to do it from the split. Our dip and drive is going to be from the split, and the idea is that I'm going to go through a dip, I'm going to drive that bar up, and I'm going to push into the bar to drive back down into this lunge position. Okay. So from here, it's going to look just like this. All right, so see, I'm really focusing on driving down into that split and maintaining my balance. So that's what we're going to work on for this one.
Okay. So you're still getting that dip into extension and then the catch.
Yeah. So we're still using the dip and drive, but it's not a dip and drive drill. This is really just a pushing down into the split drill. So we're getting you to learn how to get lower into that split. Because that's the thing is, the difference between 275 and 315 on the bar is that 275 goes here, 315 goes here. Yeah. Right? So if I can catch it here, I'm good for 275, but not 315. Yeah. If I can catch it here, I'm good for 315.
Yeah.
Right? So that's what we're trying to learn here.
Okay.
Not necessarily like you don't have to be any stronger than the 315. You have to be stable in the lower
stable
split.
in that position.
That's it, yeah. All right. So good. You got the flow of it. Now let's just add the balance. So keep that big toe glued to the leg. Push that whole foot. There we go. All right, all right. Good. Let's get a little bit wider. Yeah. Give you a little wider base. Yeah. Keep that big toe down. Yeah, that's the one. All right,
yeah,
okay.
Cool.
Each rep got a little bit better, a little bit better.
Yeah.
Let's go through one more, just drill, and then we'll put it together and we'll do some split jerks. We'll start with an empty bar to get the flow, and then we'll stack it up. Okay. Cool. All right, so for this drill, so as we go through the split jerk, ideally, what we're going to try and do is we're going to try and both lengthen and widen our base so that we are stable, but we can get lower underneath that barbell. All right, so typically what's going to happen, this bar is in front of us. A lot of times the tendency is people are overextended. So their whole center of mass is back this way, and it sets a trajectory for going back that way. Yeah. So that's why a lot of people miss jerks out in front of them, because they can never get underneath the bar, right? So really what we want to focus on with this drill is taking a big step up and out so we can get our body right underneath that barbell. Because we're starting behind, we need to get right underneath it, right? So as we go through the dip and drive in the split in real time under a jerk, we're going to go through that. And then the intention through the foot movement. The back foot, we want it to be more of a slide back, so it's going to stay close to the platform. And the reason is, if I'm just on the ball of my foot, I have a third of my foot on the ground, versus my front foot, I have my whole foot on the ground, right? So we have to be a little bit more accurate with this because we don't have as much area to land. So yeah, I'm gonna go through a dip, drive, and this is gonna be a slide, and this is gonna be a step. So this drill, what we're gonna do is we're gonna start in a position where we've slid this foot back already. And now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna push off the ball with that foot, take a bigger step out with my front foot. So I'm gonna go from here, through a dip, drive, redo. Yeah. So dip, drive, step. Okay. I'm trying to land with full foot pressure there.
So you're starting about halfway and stomping that foot out.
Exactly. So I'm trying to get out in front of the bar. Right. All right. So we're learning how the front foot moves with that.
Well, that answers my question. I was doing a lot more narrow grip before.
Yeah, it's a lot of rotation on the shoulders. Yeah. It allows you to really create that shelf and get a good front rack position there. There we go. Now bend that back knee up. Yeah, that's it. Okay. So that's the position we want to find. Better. Good. Yeah, each one better, better, better. Good, yeah. Cool. All right, how's that feel?
Good, yeah, I definitely feel my feet burning and grabbing because it's, hasn't been a big focus. Right. It's just been land in the position and then deal with what's over my head, so.
Exactly. Yeah, these are the little changes that if we can get these and kind of ingrain that movement pattern, even just bring some awareness to it, they're going to make a big difference. Because it's not like you need to get stronger to lift the weight. It's just you need to know what positions to be in. Yeah. And that's why I like to spend so much time empty barbell, lightweight, just moving your body so you can learn and you can feel what those positions are. So now we add a little bit of weight. They're more familiar, right? It's not as foreign of a position.
So what does it look like with these drills? Say I put it together throughout the week and the cadence of it, the volume of it in order to ramp me up for a month.
Yeah, so I would do like every jerk session, I would do these drills. How many times are you doing jerks every week?
Probably 3.
Cool, 3 times a week is perfect. Okay. And what I would do is just like this. I would do empty barbell, about 3 sets of 3 reps. Okay. Of each of these. Okay. And it's enough volume where it helps build that awareness. I like 3 sets because first set's gonna be bad. Yeah. Because you're just kind of shaking off the cobwebs. Second set, we have a baseline set from the first. So we know, okay, like I was having a hard time stabilizing the foot. So like you have specific things you can improve on. And then third set, you should knock it out of the park. Yeah. Like that should be the goal. 1, 2, 3, each of these. And then what we'll do is I would do each of these drills, empty barbell, 3 sets, 3 reps, because a higher frequency with lower weight, it allows you to get that learning in without a high level of fatigue, right? So that's really the goal, is that we want constant input in terms of, all right, we want the motor learning to occur, but I still want you to get tired and get that stimulus of strength and load from the workout itself. And I don't want this to necessarily take away. I want it actually to enhance that. So we don't want to do so much that you're so tired that you can't load up the bar. Yeah. But what we want it to do is we want it to be motor learning that's actually going to enhance the rest of your session, because now you know exactly what you need to be working on as you get into your split jerk.
Right. So, I mean, yeah, that's been my thought, was like speed, technique, those 2 things, and obviously stability now with learning that that position with my feet. Now, when do I test that in terms of like the loading sequence?
So I wouldn't even say that you need to. You can do these empty bar lightweight. The test is going to be that now what we'll do is we'll put some weight on the bar in your split jerk, and that's going to be the test. Is if it feels better, if your technique looks better. It's a little bit subjective in that manner, but we should get better quality reps now in your split jerk because we did that front end work to open up the positions and build the awareness. Okay. So that's what I would use as a gauge of improvement. It's not like I want you to do these heavier and heavier because they're fucking warm-up drills. It doesn't matter, right? It's like I want you to jerk heavier because you have a better understanding of how to do a jerk now.
Okay, that makes sense. Okay,
cool.
Yeah, I'm just trying to prep my rest of the few weeks I have ahead of me here.
Yeah, no, this is good. And like you said, we went through a very general warm-up. That's cool to like open up the joints, but this is your very specific. This is the warm-up that's gonna,
the sharpening sequence.
Exactly. So why don't we get on the bar? We'll do a set of just split jerks with the empty barbell, and let's start to load it up, and we'll see what it looks like, and we'll see what we see in terms of your technique on the way up. Yeah, and then from there, we'll try and refine those things, and we'll see if your split jerk feels better because we did the front end learning. Back knee. Yeah, there we go. That was a really good first
You
rep.
already felt
Yeah.
like an improvement.
Good, and that's what we want.
I think I like a bit of a wider stance too.
Yeah. Yeah, that stance looks good. Good, back knee. Good. Yeah, that's gonna be the thing. So I really want you, if you focus on one thing, it's that.
Okay.
Good, that was the best one. Yeah, all right.
A little bit of
Instability
there.
Yeah, just that front. That was good. That was a good progression through the set though. Only thing that's gonna change as we add weight, and I'm sure this has been an issue for you because you're strong, is that you've just been driving that bar up and catching it, right? Now the thing I want you to learn is how to feel where that bar is and not just catch it. You know, there's going to be a point where that bar is not going to go as high as you want it to. What you need to keep doing is pushing into that bar, not to get the bar higher, but to get that back knee lower. All right. So
you're almost pushing your knee down.
Exactly.
As opposed to going upward.
Here, if the bar is this high, I need my body this low.
Yeah.
All right.
That's a good cue for sure. Now, shoes wise, I saw you brought out your Olympic lifting raised heel shoes. So is this something that you suggest?
Yeah. If it's something you're gonna keep doing, like that's not a bad shoe for a flat shoe because it's flat, it's stable. Yeah. But the raised heel, it's just gonna help you maintain a more upright center of mass as you go through moves. A lot of times people have that tendency for a forward lean. So this will accommodate for that and put you a little bit more upright. Okay. And the thing is, they're pretty stiff, they're pretty rigid. So it's gonna make it, you know, you're having a hard time kind of keeping that foot down. Like it's gonna make it, once this thing lands, like the whole thing lands. Stable. Yeah, so it's gonna give you a lot more stable foot position. So that's a cheat code there.
I'm going shopping, you guys. That's what that means.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So you're still a bit forward there. So really trying, that torso is coming forward. Think about driving your whole body straight down. Better. So it's better, but that one you just had this back leg really straight behind you. So that's still gonna push you forward, right?
Drop that knee.
Yeah, we need to get that knee down. All right.
That's a little late to the game, but
yeah. That's good though. That's how it starts. Is that if you catch it, you're in not the best position, adjust and feel what that position's like. It's just like what you did in the beginning, because it's learning that. It's teaching yourself, all right, this is what it feels like to be in this position, so that you come out of it. Next time, it's going to be a little bit easier to get into that position. All right. All right. That was the best one. Good, Justin. Cool. That was great.
That one felt a little better.
Yeah, those were the best reps by far. I'm going to add one more thing, but this isn't after the fact thing. It's like after you're already in that position, now how you get out of it, right? Yeah. It's gonna be the same thing. It's like we just want to maintain balance as much as possible. So from here, just think of standing straight up. Okay. And as the tendency is, again, a lot of people fall forward, right? Step into it, yeah. Exactly. So to prevent falling forward and losing it forward, as you push straight up, think about pushing up and sliding that foot back, just to here. So that bar's just going up the whole time, and you just bring your feet underneath you. Okay. From there. And I'll just help you stay more stable through the recovery.
All right, learning. How long have you been doing this, by the way?
Olympic lifting, I've been in it for 12 years. So yeah, I competed at the national level from like 2018 to 2023 is my last competition.
Oh, sick.
So yeah, been a minute now.
Got all competitive with it too, that's awesome.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's like one of those things, I mean, you know, pretty much most things in fitness, it's just like a rabbit hole. You just go down, like, you keep trying to get better and like figure out like everything about the technique, how you can clean it up. Yeah. It's been fun.
I'm sure everybody wants to know your numbers because you're a beast, so.
So I've snatched 130 kilos to 286.
Nice.
I've clean and jerked 160, so that's 352.
Wow.
So
awesome, dude. How much you weigh?
Right now I'm like 185. Yeah. So
wow, dude. Yeah.
That's all right.
Beast mode. That's awesome, dude.
Thanks, man. Good, Justin. Now straight up. Yeah. Yep. Yeah. Too low there. Yeah. That was good. And then the only thing on that second one is you just got to keep that upward tension into the bar.
How's the snap the initial bit. Like,
it's good. And honestly, the thing is, like, I think this is still a little bit light to judge where it's going to break down. So if you want to try and go a little bit heavier, you don't have to go a lot heavier.
Yeah.
But it's, I mean, it looks explosive. You look strong. So it's, in my mind right now, the biggest thing is going to be your ability to catch it in a balanced but variable position.
That's the biggest thing too. I sense and what I want to work on exclusively. So yeah. I gotta, again, I don't want to jump past like the most pressing things. So this is like, I could see how I haven't actually addressed any of these things training this whole time, and I was trying to do a lot of the concentric initial.
Yeah. Good. Yep. There it is. Good. Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it's wild. It almost tires you out more thinking about like all the technique than it would like just fucking sending it and going heavy.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's like catch and stabilize, tighten up the core.
Yeah.
I can feel the difference too if I'm letting up a bit on my bracing.
Yeah, oh, that's the number one thing. Like when people fail jerks, it's because they lose their core. So if you prioritize that, like keeping that core, that's going to make sure that you're a lot more balanced through the lift. It's going to make sure that you're in better positions. So like that's for sure the number one thing.
I immediately feel the weight of it all because it's going to move you out of the pocket.
Yeah.
And then it's like trying to bring it back is a waste of energy.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Is like the best lifts are the ones that feel weightless. It's like because you're staying balanced, you're staying tight, you have tension, and you can just kind of stand up out of it. Yeah. Good.
I was still debating if it was like I could have just muscled the push, pressing it up, but
yeah.
No, I think this is the move.
Every time you do this session with like this intention, it should feel better.
Yeah.
Right? And that's the thing for you, because it's not necessarily strength training, which just takes time. It's skill learning, right?
I already feel that,
Yeah, that's a lot faster. And like even from like your first one with the empty barbell to like, I don't know, to maybe our fourth, fifth set, like it looks significantly better. It's like each session should build on that next one. So if you're doing this 3 times a week for a month, that's like 12 sessions that you have to improve on. And that's what will exactly take you to that 315. Been clawing for every pound and kilo since then.
Yeah, all right. It's doable. It's just like it's a monster in my brain.
Yeah. That's the hardest part is like the learning of the skill, right? It's once you get it, you don't have to think about so many things. And like that's why it'll get better each session is because, all right, you're thinking about everything, the whole lift right now. And the next session, like hopefully one of those 2 things will click and you'll think of 2 less things. And then the next session, 2 less things. And instead of 100 things, it's only 34 things.
Yeah, I always looked at it as like more repetitions for me. It's like I'm baking that into my subconscious.
Yes,
so
that's
subconscious takes over. I don't have to worry about it anymore as long as I put the volume in there.
Exactly, yeah. It's got to be
practice.
Good intentional volume too. It's like you got to be executing on the right things so it sticks.
Yeah, and I guess that's too why I'm a little less concerned about loading this specifically. I'd love to test it, once I feel really sharp.
Yeah.
And I think I'd love to come back and do that too.
Anytime.
You're up for that.
Yeah.
So
standing invite, yeah. Yeah. All right. Yeah, just keep that big toe. Good. Now flat foot in the front. Fuck yeah, that's the one. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, it looks really fluid. You're getting into that position, like it's all clicking. The only thing's just going to be that balance there. But the cool thing is, like first rep wasn't there, second rep it was there. So you're correcting just like that. I mean, if you want to load it up, what we can do is we can put some weight on, go through just that dip and drive portion. Do you want to try some heavier jerks?
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. Cool. Let's go with the green first, and then we'll throw the blue on for. We just go maybe one at a time here, and we'll go up until it doesn't look good. And move on. Yeah, good, Justin. Right up out. Yeah. Well, great.
I just want to do them one by ones.
At this point,
focus.
You've earned it.
Focus.
Yeah. That was great.
Cool.
That was good. Balance looked there. Looked explosive. Yep. Good. As you get heavier and heavier, I would do just less volume. Like if it's a good rep, just take it, rest.
Yeah. I've somewhat sort of learned that intuitively. I want to stick with the one that was good, so I kind of pattern that,
Right.
I don't want to pattern.
All right. Yeah, that one you're coming forward a bit. Yeah.
I felt that.
Yeah, so be vertical with that extension and stay really connected. The intention through the arms should not just be to go up, but also go up and back a little. You saved it. Good. Yeah, it looks like it's fatiguing a little bit. Yeah, not bad. Rest up. As it gets heavier, the timing of the lifts becomes really important because there's going to be a moment where that bar is going up, and then there's going to be a moment where it stops. And at that split second, it's going to be weightless. And then when it starts coming down, the way the gravity works is the longer it's falling, the faster it's going to go, right? So the longer, if it goes up and it peaks all the way up here and it starts falling on you, it's going to hit you harder the longer it's falling, right? So you really want to be mindful and keep tension with that bar so you can lock it out right at its peak so it feels weightless and you can gradually absorb the weight of that bar as opposed to abruptly having it crash down on you. Come on now. Stay tight with that bar. Yeah. That's the one. Good.
Balance felt better. Nope.
Yeah, still getting a little bit forward with that torso. So keep that core, drive that back knee down, and also here, that intention through the arms is back.
Yeah. I gotta push. Like you sit up and kind of back more.
That's a product of the leg drive too. The more aggressive you are with the leg drive, then the more impact your arm drive will have on where that ball goes.
Shit, that's so counterintuitive for me.
Yeah, it's really the legs are the core of the movement, and then the arms are just kind of guiding the bar and your body into that final position.
Yeah.
That's much better. There you go. So what I think about with the arms through here is even in that rack position, I'm already pushing my arms into the bar. So like I want tension with the bar so that the second that bar gaps from my body, when it leaves my body, I'm already pushing into the bar. So that tension is actually going to initiate me starting to move down already. So there's no lag time. It's not like the bar goes up and then eventually I go down.
Yeah.
It's as soon as that bar leaves my shoulders, now I'm actively
pushing.
Yeah.
Dropping,
Yeah, so that's like another layer.
Yeah, because you wait, and then there's that.
Yeah, you don't want that disconnect. Yeah, you want to keep a nice tight flow to the whole movement. One movement leads to the next, There's no lag in between.
It's crazy because you see all that watching a breakdown of a video of somebody in slow motion. You're like, oh God, like, then you go to do it, and you're always that like kink.
Exactly. It's like, what the fuck do I do?
Yeah. So definitely, if I could iron that out, that'd be rad.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's like there is a lot to think about, but we don't necessarily want to think about every single thing.
Yeah.
It's just like, all right, if this becomes an issue, then we'll bring it up, we'll talk about it, and we'll like focus on it. But like the goal really, like again, it boils down to keeping tension here, keeping balance, and then keeping tension with the bar. It's like that's the timing piece of it. If you keep pressure into that bar while it's on your shoulders, then as soon as it gaps, now your body's changing direction. Like, you don't have to think about it. All you have to think about is keeping tension with that bar.
Next week, if I come back here after I work on it, sharpen it, we can assess kind of like how much progress I got.
Yeah, I think that's great. This gives you a lot to work on is the thing. Too. It's like, I don't want to throw too much at you out of the gate because there is a lot of things that we can like clean up and we can point out, but it's not productive to work on everything at once, right? It's just a few things that like, all right, like work on this stuff, come back, we'll see what it looks like, and then we'll work on the next thing.
Yeah, I want to be smarter. And again, this has been sort of my journey with this series is really just I don't want to use the same methods I used previous to where I got to a point and then I capped my abilities there, right? So I haven't learned how to go beyond that. And so that's where I'm like, need to step back to step forward in a sense. And so, and that's why too, like, and I'm learning that more volume, more load for me wasn't working the same as like actually taking an extra day of rest. A big difference. So yeah, I'm just trying to be a little more judicious and like smart about how to work this in. And so I think, maybe do two more sets of these. Hope that I get, you know, something to walk away with that's a little sharper. Work on it a shit ton over at our place. Yeah. Come back, have you kind of look it through.
Fuck yeah.
That'd be awesome.
Sick. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, let's do it. All right.
Nope.
That one looked, it just looked like the bar stayed out in front of you. So remember what I said earlier on, we need to take that step out to get in front of the bar. So it's that aggressive extension, take that step out. Yeah, take your time with it. Let's just focus on one more good rep. Okay. Let's get a good one to end on.
One more. Take it home.
Yep.
Come on.
Good. All right. Good, Justin. Yeah, that was it.
Okay.
Yeah, everything was there. The only thing that was off was that little bit of a wobble in the front foot, but that's mine.
Stability
that's
in the
mine.
foot.
Yeah.
Okay.
But that was start to finish, good rep. Man.
Thanks, dude. I appreciate all this.
For sure.
I already know this is going to make a huge difference, dude. I can tell.
Yeah. This is the stuff that, like I said, like come back next week, we'll do this again, and we'll see. I guarantee everything we worked on today is going to feel 100% easier.
Yeah.
Like, it's going to be so much easier.
Right on, dude. Yeah, you're a rad coach.
Yeah, thanks, dude. Appreciate that. Yeah,
for sure. Cool. You rack your weights.